The Aphrodite of Knidos was one of the most famous works of the ancient Greek sculptor Praxiteles of Athens It, and its copies are often referred to as the Venus Pudica type, on account of her covering her naked pubis with her right hand. Variants of the Venus Pudica are the Venus de Medici and the Capitoline Venus. Original, the statue became famous for its beauty, meant to be appreciated from every angle, and for being the first life-size representation of the nude female form. It was especially shocking as it was commissioned as the cult statue for a temple. It depicted the goddess Aphrodite as she prepared for the ritual bath that restored her purity, discarding her drapery in her left hand, while modestly shielding herself with her right hand. Her hands are placed in a motion that simultaneously shields her womanhood and draws attention to her nudity. Aphrodite's body bends in a contrapposto position, an artistic innovation which realistically portrays normal human stance. According to a possibly apocryphal account by Pliny, Praxiteles received a commission from the citizens of Kos for a statue of the goddess Aphrodite. Praxiteles then created two versions, one fully draped, and the other completely nude. The shocked citizens of Kos rejected the nude statue and purchased the draped version. The design and appearance of the draped version is today unknown, as it didn't survive, nor did it appear to have merited attention, to judge from the lack of surviving accounts. The rejected nude was purchased by some citizens of Knidos and set up in an open-air temple that permitted viewing of the statue from all sides. It quickly became one of the most famous works by Praxiteles for the bold depiction of Aphrodite as proudly nude. Praxiteles was alleged to have used the courtesan Phryne as a model for the statue, which added to the gossip surrounding its origin. The statue became so widely known and copied that in a humorous anecdote the goddess Aphrodite herself came to Knidos to see it. A lyric epigram of Antipater of Sidon places a hypothetical question on the lips of the goddess herself. A similar epigram is attributed to Plato. When Cypris saw Cypris at Cnidus, alas, said she, where did Praxiteles see me naked? The statue became a tourist attraction in spite of being a cult image and a patron of the Cnidians. Nicomedes of Bithynia offered to pay off the enormous debts of the city of Knidos in exchange for the statue, but the Cnidians rejected his offer. The statue was so lifelike that it even aroused men sexually, as witnessed by the tradition that a young man broke into the temple at night and attempted to copulate with the statue. Apparently a stain in the marble on the rear of the thigh convinced him the statue was a real woman. This story is recorded in the Dialogue Erots, traditionally misattributed to Lucian of Samosata. The same dialogue also offers the fullest literary description of the temenos of Aphrodite at Knidos. Of the Aphrodite herself the narrator resorts to hyperbole. Copies. The Cnidian Aphrodite has not survived. Possibly the statue was removed to Constantinople and was lost in a fire during the Nika riots. It was one of the most widely copied statues in the ancient world, so a general idea of the appearance of the statue can be gleaned from the descriptions and replicas that have survived to the modern day. For a time in 1969, the archaeologist Iris Love thought she had found the only surviving fragments of the original statue, which are now in storage at the British Museum. The prevailing opinion of archaeologists is that the fragment in question is not of the Cnidia, but of a different statue. Probably the most faithful replica of the statue is the Colonna Venus conserved in the Museo Pio Clementino, part of the collections of the Vatican museums. The Kaufmann head, found at Tralles, purchased from the C.M. Kaufmann collection, Berlin, and conserved in the Musée du Louvre, is thought to be a very faithful Roman reproduction of the head of the Cnidian Aphrodite. At Hadrian's villa near Tivoli in Italy, there is a 2nd century recreation of the temple at Knidos with a fragmentary replica of the Aphrodite standing at the center of it, generally matching descriptions in ancient accounts of how the original was displayed. At the Prado Museum, as well as more or less faithful copies, the Aphrodite of Cnidus also inspired various variations, which include the Capitoline Venus, the Barberini Venus, the Borghese Venus, the Venus of Arles, the Aphrodite of Melos, the Venus de Medici, the Esquiline Venus, Venus of the Esquiline type, the Crouching Venus, the Aphrodite Calipygos, the Venus Victrix, Venus Urania, the Mazarin Venus, named after Cardinal Mazarin. An example with added figures of Pan and Cupid at the Athens National Archaeological Museum, the Venus Felix at the Vatican Museums, a possible variation of the type.